What's up, crew? I'm stoked because in this episode, I get to reveal who my new bike sponsor is. In order to do that though, I need to get you down to the Path Bike Shop. So let's get on the road. If you're new to the channel, my name is Alan and I am a short, dark, and unconventionally handsome mountain biker out here having rad days on bikes. I share my adventures with you because I hope that whoever you are and however you are, you'll be inspired to get out there and have rad days too. So aside from the fact that the Path Bike Shop is awesome, the main reason I wanted to do my sponsor reveal here is because the bikes that I'm gonna be riding are actually in that building. And I figured the best way for me to reveal my sponsor is to just show you the bikes. So the reason why my bikes are here is because, well, this is a mountain bike shop. They focus on mountain bikes and mountain bikers, and that's one of the other reasons why I really dig working with the Path. And actually, here's my bikes right here. Let's have a look. Yeah, these are kind of all the bikes I get to ride. Like maybe this one, that one of these. So yeah, the Path Bike Shop is my new bike sponsor, and that means I have access to their entire demo fleet. So this year I'm gonna be riding a bunch of different bikes from a bunch of different brands, e-bikes, downhill bikes, all kinds of stuff, and just trying to figure out what my next main bike is gonna be. But let's look at what my first bike is gonna be. Yeah, my first bike is gonna be the Santa Cruz Vala. I'm gonna give you a full review of the Vala once I've ridden it enough, but for now, here's a quick overview. The Vala is a full power, lightweight e-bike with 150 millimeters of travel in the back and 160 in the front. It uses the newest Bosch CX motor and has a 600 watt-hour battery. This is the XO build and comes with SRAM transmission, Maven brakes, Fox factory suspension with a Floatex shock and a Grip X238. Other notables are the reserve carbon wheels paired up with Schwalbe's new radial Magic Marys. Those are going to be fun to talk about. Let's get this thing going. Powered on. So that's off. Eco, trail, eMTB mode, and then boost mode. I'm going to run it in the purple eMTB mode for now. See ya. These bars are at 800 millimeters. I usually run like 760, so I'm just kind of like running my hands inside a little bit. I've just moved all my controls in. Transmission, Axis transmission. This is new for me. This pedaling position feels really nice. It's been a couple of years since I've been on anything but a Giant. So it's kind of cool to, you know, be on another brand. I was riding Santa Cruz's for two bikes. I had a Bronson and then I had a Nomad, loved them. So we are back on Santa Cruz for this bike anyway. The Path Bike Shop set this whole bike up for me. It's pretty cool. I just sent them my numbers, texted with them, told them the measurement from the center of the bottom bracket to my seat rails, sent them that measurement in millimeters and my weight, and when I showed up to pick up the bike, it was pretty much good to go. Gorgeous. It's a little windy today. It's pretty dang sunny, but the temperature is pretty nice. Let's try it out. Let's try out the Vala on this jump. Oh my God. Okay. Okay. All right, gotta stay calm. This has a 20 mil rise bar on it, and I've been running a 35 or 35 mil. On my other bikes, but I don't know if I'd need it on this. The front feels like it's in a pretty good position. Also, I'm already noticing a bit of a wandering bite point on these Mavens. I don't feel like they're overpowered like I feel like some people have said about them. Oh! Oh man, I'm like totally losing back brake. That's not good. Now I'm like scared to let it go in case I don't have brakes. But it's feeling pretty composed through all this. God, I wish I could let go of my brakes. I mostly did that because I wanted to see how we would handle like a big ol' weird hit and then turn, and it handled it pretty nice. The bike in general just feels great. It feels really solid. Like Santa Cruz's, they are not noodly. All right, so check it out. I've been watching a guy named Daniel ride some really rad stuff. I'll put a link to his stuff up there, I guess. And I've noticed that like his steep footage looks pretty nice, and I think he's shooting from like under his bill. So that's kind of what I'm gonna do here. We'll see what that looks like with it there, and see how that feels. Also, like, can I actually ride like that without it like driving me crazy? So yeah, we're gonna do some testing today. And as so often happens, I ran into a couple of buddies, Mike and Derek. Also, let me know if you like this angle or the other angle better. Dude, don't even worry about it. I'm still getting used to this bike too, so I'm like, I'm getting used to this bike, so I'm not going super fast.
We all got excuses.
Yeah, we all got all our excuses ready to go. Yes. All right, cool. Never corrected there before. Okay, I don't love that it's making my bill go. That was sick though, dude. That was sick.
Good one.
Heck yeah, dude.
Good one. Thanks, sir.
So obviously I'm liking this bike, but like I said, I will be doing a full review on it once I've ridden it long enough. In regards to the Mavens and the issue I was having with the wandering bite point, I was able to take it into the Path Bike Shop, and their service department was able to diagnose it pretty quickly, give it a full bleed, and get it back into my hands. So we'll see what that's like when I get it back on the trails. That's one of the other reasons why I'm stoked to have the Path Bike Shop as my primary bike sponsor. Their service department has so much knowledge and experience, and they are really efficient at getting the bike back into your hands and communicating with you all along the process. By the way, if you're interested in why I left Giant and have asked the Path Bike Shop to be my primary bike sponsor. Their podcast, where they interview me about this and a bunch of other stuff, comes out today. I'll leave a link in the description so you could go and listen to that. In general, it's a really good podcast, but yeah, I'm on there in this most recent podcast episode. Oh God! Oh no! What's up, crew? We are heading down to the OC to ride some steeps today. Hopefully, I won't feel too much pressure. We're meeting up with the eMTB AA boys, Anthony, Avery, and Rick. I'm not exactly sure who all is going to be there, but now we got to head up to Stell and get us a cinnamon honey latte. So the trails that we're going to be riding today are on the gnarly side, but we will have a crew to guide us along. They're nice people and they'll be taking care of us. We're going to be on the Santa Cruz Vala, which if you've already seen the previous videos, you know this is the 150/160 lightweight full power mixed wheel bike from Santa Cruz. Really been digging this. I've only got it for a little bit longer. Then we'll be switching it up. Let me know in the comments what you think the next bike should be. And if I should do something other than cinnamon honey lattes from Stell. All right, coffee got. We've got the Yeti cup today because we're trying to avoid making more trash. So let's get on the road. We're gonna try to get down there by 8:45. By the way, if you're interested in a bike like the Vala, you can demo those right now from the Path Bike Shop. Yeah, they make it really easy to figure out what your next bike should be. They're helping me do that. Hey, look who's here. It's Anthony. Hey. Yo. Anthony's one of the people that's going to be showing me down some of these steep old trails, right? Yep. Yeah, we're going to be hitting some gnarly stuff today. And I've been watching his Instagram and he's been killing it. So I'm going to be trusting him to guide me down. And then we'll be seeing Rick, Anthony's dad, here in just a minute. But first we're going to finish getting ready. Got Rick here. Rick's my other guide for the day.
How's it going?
Yeah.
Jimmy.
Jimmy?
Yeah, that's Peter.
Peter? All right. So I guess I'm following you down?
Yeah.
All right.
That rock and a waterfall, that's it.
Rock and a waterfall.
And then
2 bits. Yeah, dude. All right, trail 1. All right. All right, I'm just giving him room. Yoop. Yeah, dude. Heck yeah. Woo. That was cool.
Good warm up?
Yeah. Heck yeah.
What was Anthony's speed?
It was perfect. Anthony was perfect.
Yeah, so I figure your first time, his
Yeah.
speed should be perfect.
Yeah, and I'm just like in some of those technical sections,
Yeah.
I just like to give him space. Just,
Yeah.
you never know, like I don't want to be on top of somebody.
Alright.
Yoop. Safety third. All right. Yeah, nice. That was fun. Yeah, dude. Oh, yeah. Heck yeah.
So fun, yeah?
Heck yeah, that was good.
Waiting for it, just make sure.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Jimmy! So the last ride, when I was having a hard time keeping the front down, it was like steep. But I think for like most climbs, you're gonna be fine.
Recoup.
Oh God. The ruts are tripping me out. But they shouldn't. I'm fine. A little room. Drop! You're good, you're good. That's...
Good straight line.
Oh God. Nice. Heck yeah, dude.
Oh yeah. Good job, guys. Oh, yeah.
What's your name again?
Gabriel.
Gabriel?
Gabriel.
We can do it from the distance. Boop. That was fun.
Fun, yeah?
Yeah. Mini feature.
So you kind of stay right, okay?
Alright, that'll be the first feature.
Slow down, slow down. Woo!
All right, drop in.
Alright, drop in.
Oh God. So I did hit the ground, like you hit the like button, but despite how it looked, it was a chill crash and I pretty much just skinned my elbow. I crashed because I was too focused on the next feature and not paying attention to the rut that came before it, and I knew I had to go back up and clean both features. So after Peter and Jimmy came through, we all worked together to get me and the Vala back up to the top of the first feature. Unfortunately, I don't have footage of that, but I swear 3 people trying to get an e-bike up this feature is more dangerous than 1 person trying to ride down it. Once we got me and the bike back up top, while I was catching my breath, Anthony went ahead and hit the feature.
Remember you're braking, okay? In the rock garden, let go a little bit. Let go, and then brake, easy. Control, in control.
You got it. Oh,
That's
okay,
good.
no problem.
That's okay. That's okay.
All right, we switched mounts because I busted the GoPro mount on the visor. Caught that rut. Okay. Drop in. Yay!
Nice one.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah. Slow, front brake, nice.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, nice.
Heck yeah, dude. Got a hiker on the trail.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, that's chill. I just wanted to make that turn. That turn was like weird.
Oh, yeah, that hurt it. Heck yeah.
Yeah, there was a decent amount of grip. Yeah, big dog.
A lot of front. A lot of front. A lot of front.
Yeah, straight line.
Yeah, just say.
Easy peasy.
Yeah, easy, right?
Smooth. Look good.
Good job.
Rod over here, okay?
Nice in control. Nice in control.
Oh God, oh God.
So you're creeping right here, right? Let's go.
Dude, that's so chill.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, bud.
Nice and easy.
A little bit nervous.
It's okay. Are you okay? You okay?
Yeah.
You got this. Nice and easy. Right. Let go. Look at the exit. Ooh, easy. Watch out for the rut. Oh. Such a ride. Thank you, Ria. Survive.
Oh yeah.
me.
Thanks, you guys.
Was that fun?
Yeah, that was fun. Are we gonna get food right now? Seriously? Heck yeah, crew, that was freaking awesome. I'm really grateful to Rick and Anthony for showing me those trails. My first time on these, so it was cool to have a nice measured approach to them. What's up, crew? Today we are taking the Vala onto some trails that most people take bigger bikes onto. People tend to use like enduro bikes, even DH bikes on these trails. I feel like it's gonna do just fine. I rode the Vala on some of the even gnarlier trails more recently, and it did pretty nicely. We were kind of picking our way and taking our time on those trails. Today we're gonna be meeting up with Tawny from the Path Bike Shop. He's the owner of the Path Bike Shop, which is also my bike sponsor. He kind of goes a little bit faster, so I think we're gonna be turning up the speed a little bit. I will say also, when I was riding these trails on the Vala, that fork wasn't tuned quite right. So I've changed the pressures a little bit and opened up the high-speed rebound a little bit, closed down the low-speed compression a little bit, and it's been feeling really good. So hopefully that'll help us out today. We will be putting the Vala through the paces because these trails are maybe a little outside of what it's really designed for. I just kind of want to show that this bike is kind of the 80% bike. It's the bike that like 80% of you should get, or at least a bike in this category. I think a bike that's bigger than this might be too much for a lot of trails. And so far it's been really awesome on most of the trails that I've been riding. So yeah, I think I'm seeing Tawny pull up right now. So we're gonna get set up so he doesn't have to wait too long. So we've already got a mechanical, Ak, who is also on a Santa Cruz Vala. The spider has come loose, so...
Some people call that a person experiencing mechanical issues.
Tawny is also on a Vala. We pretty much have the same bike. Ak's got the super nice build with some modifications.
Have a good one,
See you, Ak.
Bye.
And then there were two. Okay, we're just warming up, Alan. In case you're wondering, Tawny will be kind of slowing down for me a bit. Huh?
This one's pretty doable, but I don't usually hit it.
Oh yeah, I probably would hit that. I'd buy that for $1. Nice. Yeah.
Conditions are pretty awesome.
Cross-rutted, but no dabs. Pretty good. Nice. Finally starting to get a little more comfortable with the ruts. Okay. Oh yeah. That's way better. Yeah, nice and straight. That was good.
And with some speed, you kind of skip along the top of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh! Oh God! I tried to take a cool kid line. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. Yes. Disrespect the rut.
I think a better line is probably this, more over here.
Okay.
You know the Eddie Vedder song, Better Man?
Yeah.
I always think of that when I think of better line.
Can't find a better line. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's sick. Yep. Wah! Yeah, dude. Yeah.
That chute, it's a good day to ride that because when it's dry, that chute's pretty death.
Dude, I can't imagine.
Feels like no control.
Oh yeah. See why I haven't done this climb before.
You haven't seen two reds before.
I've never seen two reds.
Have you gone that low? Like, have you gone down to one?
No.
So maybe you just haven't gone there.
Yeah. Have you even seen two reds before? Okay, this probably doesn't show how steep it is, but Tawny's gonna try to get going.
Buddhist concept. Start again. Ah!
Easy peasy. That Bosch motor, huh?
When it's easy, it's easy.
Yeah. All right, now we're gonna do the same thing, but we're gonna go straight up. Look at that. I do like this motor. Oh God. Yeah, good. What the heck? Nice. So good. Heck yeah, crew. That was freaking rad. I'm really glad actually that I had Tawny with me because some of those trails are a little gnarlier than I remember. In any case, the Vala did great on those trails. There were times when I think, okay, if I had wanted to go a little faster, a bigger bike, longer wheelbase, a little more travel would have been nice. But like, if I'm just going down wanting to get a like semi-rowdy and have a bike that's like gonna work really well for everything else, it's the bike I would choose. Like at Greer, at San Clemente, it's like the perfect bike. A bigger bike is, in my opinion, a little too much for those trails. And then this bike is almost enough for these trails. What's up, crew? Today we are taking the Vala back to the Path Bike Shop, but before we do that, let's take it on one more ride and I'll also give you my review. But as per usual, we got to go to Stell and get us some coffee. one bike quiver. It's not a new idea, and a lot of the great bikes that we have today are a result of brands trying to make that idea a reality. But that was before we had to talk about motors and torque, watt hours, and range anxiety. Yeah, eMTBs sent us back to ideation, and the way forward has seemed unclear for bike brands and riders alike. But then, I rode the Vala. I took the Vala on a total of 10 rides and racked up 135 miles and 28,000 feet of climbing. The trails included moderate chunk, like this trail, flowy jump lines, and trails steep and gnarly enough to justify a DH bike. On all those trails, the Vala proved to be both capable and playful, able to stay composed on the gnarlier double blacks while keeping the blue trails lively. If I had to describe it in one word, I would call it balanced.
York! Oh God.
If I could use a three-word phrase, I would use the phrase one bike quiver. But let's talk about some specs, and then I'll go through the things that I like and things that I would want to change. The Vala is Santa Cruz's mid-travel eMTB. It's a 150/160 mixed-wheel bike, and it seems to be geared more toward getting rowdy on the descents. I would categorize it as all-mountain. I rode the EXO build, which uses the lighter carbon CC frame and comes with components that match its price tag. Some notable components are the Floatex factory shock, and the Fox Factory 38 fork with the new Grip X dampers. The drivetrain is SRAM EXO transmission, so you get the more robust T-type chain and cassette, and of course access wireless shifting. SRAM Maven brakes provide the stopping power, and are paired with 200mm HS2 rotors front and back. The tires are by Schwalbe. The front is a Magic Mary Trail Radial Ultra Soft, and the back is a Magic Mary Gravity Radial Soft. The tires are wrapped around Santa Cruz's in-house reserve carbon wheel set. But probably the most notable component is the Bosch motor, which I like a lot. So let's do the part where I talk about the things that I like. The 5th generation Bosch Performance Line CX motor offers a full 85 Nm of torque, and the battery contains at least 5,000 feet of climbing if you weigh 175 pounds fully kitted and use full boost the whole time. I'm talking about the battery like this because the number of watt hours can be misleading. I found that on regular rides with around 3,000 feet of climbing and using the highest level of assist, I would get back to the truck having used only around 60% of the 600 watt hour battery. Now, I bet a lot of you are going to struggle with the idea of a battery that has less than 750 watt hours. In my experience, the Vala had plenty of range for most of my rides, and I appreciated the lighter weight, especially knowing that I could get 5,000 feet or more of full boost climbing. And if I had run a lower assist mode, I might have gotten as much as 6,000 feet of climbing, though I haven't actually tested that. And on the occasions when I really need it, I can opt for the Power More range extender for another 250 watt hours of battery, which gives me a total of 850 watt hours. The Bosch motor has proven to not only be efficient but also quiet on both the ascents and descents. On the climbs, its whir is quiet and easy to ignore.
Steep little climb here. Yeah, no problem.
And I hear no rattle on the descents. Unfortunately, a lot of my footage suffers from a noisy camera mount, but here's a clip where the camera mount is mostly silent.
Oh yeah, that felt good. This thing just ate all that up.
As you can hear, the motor and the bike as a whole is quiet. The Bosch motor is also smooth.
That Bosch motor, huh?
I was able to avoid spinouts on steep starts.
Now we're gonna do the same thing, but we're gonna go straight up. Look at that.
And in tight technical situations, it remained intuitive and predictable.
Another thing I like about the Bosch system is that the mode selector is wireless, which keeps the cockpit a little more tidy. In regards to the panel, it does look like an upgrade is coming that will replace the basic lights and button with a nice screen. I'm assuming a touch screen. The Vala's climbing position is upright and comfortable, with the 4-bar platform staying active on technical climbs. Yeah, I did say 4-bar. This is a Santa Cruz without a VPP, which is like AC/DC without Bon Scott. VPP is great, but apparently a Horst link can sing just as well. I like the 4-bar on the Vala. It's been a while since I was on a VPP bike, so I won't try and compare the two platforms, but the Vala was able to deliver pop while staying composed in all but the most extreme situations. And in steep and chunky sections, traction under braking was impressive. The 4-bar layout has more space for dropper posts, and it's really nice that the Vala comes with 1UP Components droppers in lengths based on bike size, ranging from 120 on the small up to 240 on the XXL. I also like that there are flip chips that allow you to adjust the geo and progression independently. You can change the head tube angle from 64.2 degrees to the slacker 63.9 degrees. I put mine in the slacker position because, well, yeah. I also put the progression chip into the more progressive position because, again, yeah. I found that my descending riding position was nicely centered, which goes well with flow trails and jump lines, but it really shows its value when things get steep and chunky. Being able to stay in a relatively neutral fore-aft position made me feel in command on the bike and gave me a ton of confidence. I did have 1 or 2 moments when the rear felt like it wanted to catch up with the front, but I think that other factors were at play, and I will cover that when I talk about the things that I would change. The reach on my size medium in the low position is 456 and the rear center is 440, so that mostly tracks, I guess. A couple of other things I appreciate are the Access pod shifter and the Fillmore valves. The pod shifter is more comfortable and intuitive than the previous Access controllers, and the Fillmore valves have been my favorite for years, and in my opinion, they are the best valve out there. So the Vala is a well-equipped bike with enough range and capability for most of my rides. I was happy enough motoring up on the climbs and stoked on the descents. But if I were to make this my next bike, there are a couple of things I would want to change. First off, the Magic Marys. I do like the feel of the radial casings. The tires are damped, similar to having inserts, but without the added weight. And in a lot of cases, they provide good grip. Although maybe not that much more than their competitors. But on loose over hardpack, and sometimes on dusty rocks, which we have a lot of here in Southern California, they seem to have less grip, or maybe just less predictable grip. I don't think it's the casing though. The Magic Marys have really tall knobs, which provide less of a contact patch, and the rear tire spec'd on the Vala uses the slightly less grippy compound. I think this is why I had a couple of moments where the rear tire felt like it wanted to pass the front. It was never terrible, just a bit unsettling. I didn't play with the tire pressures too much, and maybe a couple of PSI here or there would address this. But lower traction on the rear tire was only amplified by the most powerful brakes on the market. SRAM Mavens provide some mighty stopping power, and I struggled with them at first, but not so much because of their power. On my first ride, the rear brake had a wildly inconsistent bite point.
I'm already noticing a bit of a wandering bite point. Oh man, I'm like totally losing back brake. Now I'm like scared to let it go in case I don't have brakes. God, I wish I could let go of my brakes.
It's one thing for brakes to be powerful, but powerful and unpredictable is another thing altogether. Fortunately, a full bleed made them mostly consistent.
Mostly.
I did 10 rides on these brakes, and aside from the first ride, they didn't give me any more problems, but the bite point would occasionally wander a little. Not so much as to cause problems, but something to consider.
Don't get fancy, Alan.
So if I do make the Vala my next bike, I would maybe stick with the Mavens if I can get them to be more consistent, but I would swap out the Schwalbes for Contis or Maxxis. Fortunately, the Path can offer credit on takeoffs from new bikes, and so that would hopefully make the pain a little bit less. With the Vala, Santa Cruz has successfully made the do-it-all eMTB. It's light and lively enough for the regular fun rides, packs enough muscle for the occasional NAR party, and has plenty of range for most missions. It's actually hard hard for me to say who this bike would not be for. If you're a progressing rider and you're starting to ride heavier trails, the Vala is a good choice. And if you're comfortable riding DH tracks on dual crown or enduro bikes, the Vala is a good way to spice things up and progress your skills. And if you're just a talented rider who would just as soon jump over a rock garden than ride it, again, the Vala. For me, well, I have a ticket to ride all the demos at the Path Bike Shop, so if you want to see what my next demo bike is going to be, hit the subscribe button, and if you want to see more videos like this and from me, hit the like button. But whatever you do, get out there on your bike and have a rad day.